episode 386 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you, no matter what Temur Reclamation you're Temur Reclamationing in your Magic the Gathering matches.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria Temur Reclamation Bartholdi.
And I'm another one of your hosts, Meghan, Temur Reclamation.
You know, you'd think with the last name of Reclamation, you would have seen this coming, Meghan.
Yeah, you know, really, in retrospect, I really regret not saying that my name is Temur Reclamation.
Well, basically, that's what all of our names are after this past weekend of the Players Tour, where how many copies in the top 8 were Temur Reclamation?
10.
Meghan? 10
9?
out of 16.
Nope, 10.
Yep.
10 out of 16.
10 out of 16.
Oh, boy. But we are not going to talk standard. I'm lying. We are talking standard on today's shows, but only because we have special guest, amateur pro Greg here to talk about his experience playing in the Players Tour this past weekend.
I'm so excited. He always has such great insights on being our amateur pro and what it's like to play in these big tournaments. And this was the first tournament really of its kind, a Players Tour online, completely new kind of thing. So we're going to get his info on and his backstory in playing in this big tournament and find out how he did and what he thought of playing in a whole new kind of world.
That's right. And then the two of us are going to bring you some cube content because the MTG Aruna Cube Draft is here.
I know.
Is finally here.
Arena Cube Draft is so fun.
Yes, it's a really good time. So we'll talk a little bit about that in case you're looking for something else to do on Arena besides play all those mirror matches.
Yeah, but before we get started, big, humongous thank you to everybody who's a patron of our show over on patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Thank you times a trillion billion, everybody who supports us every single month and sticks with us and helps us keep our show on the air, coming out of your cat's mouth and into your happy place every single week, multiple times if you listen to the upkeep, and watch our YouTube videos separately, which I know some people do. So that's a lot of Good Luck High Five content that you could get if you're really anybody. Yeah. So thank you.
If you're anybody, because we let anybody listen. Why would we not?
That's right.
There are some haters sometimes that we are like, I wish you wouldn't listen. But you know what? Joke's on them because they're the ones spending time listening to this.
That's a great point. Jokers frequently punk themselves.
Yeah. Jokers do frequently joke themselves. Anyways, what was I thinking about? Wasn't the biggest punk unpunked Ashton Kutcher?
He was really wasn't he the one getting punked on punked?
Really?
By being on
Wasn't
punked?
he the one being long-term punked?
Because did he ever have a career after punked? Anyway.
Great question. Is
I
he
don't
still
know.
married to Demi Moore?
Oh, that's right. They were married. Meghan,
or are they married?
Figure it out.
I'm gonna figure it out right now. I'm looking it up. You keep going.
Okay, because we are also your home for interesting celebrity news. As you may know, we check in on Tommy Lee Jones. We check in on Nicolas Cage from time to time. So it's only fair that we also check in on Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore.
Speaking of, I watched Moonstruck. Rewatched it because I am actually a very big fan of Moonstruck, which has young Nicolas Cage in it. And it is still excellent. It is a completely absurd movie and so enjoyable.
I can't
highly recommend.
I cannot handle him in that movie, Meghan.
Well, it's like so over the top and I love it.
Anyway.
I love it. He and Demi Moore are no longer together.
Okay, well, I'm going to blame Punked for that. Punked for that because you know what? I could not stay married to a host of Punked. I just couldn't do it. You know, I have standards.
Oh my goodness. There is. I did not know, but he did like Indian brown face in a commercial in 2012 apparently.
Oh, come on, Ashton Kutcher.
Like what? In 2012?
More like, dude, where's my brain? Am I right?
He wasn't in that, was he?
Dude, where's my car? He absolutely was.
Was he?
I had it on VHS.
Okay, you're right. He was. No, you're right.
Somebody gave it to me for my birthday.
Okay, fair enough. I was not sure for a second.
He is Dudes, Where's My Car? Like, he's just the embodiment of that movie.
You're right. Okay.
Anyway, pause on celebrity news. Get back to thank yous really quick. Card Kingdom.
Oh my goodness. Hold on. Okay,
What?
you say this and then I'm going to keep telling us Ashton Kutcher.
What do you got?
Nope, you go first and then I will go.
Okay. Thank you to Card Kingdom for being our amazing sponsor. You can find them at cardkingdom.com/GLHF. Go get everything you want from them. They're a fantastic company. They've been behind us this whole pandemic, and they've been doing great things in the community, supporting great causes. We support Card Kingdom. You should too. Okay, go for it.
Okay, so I was going to say, apparently, a woman that he dated in 2001 was murdered.
Oh my God.
And in 2019, he testified at the trial of the person. He was like never a suspect, but he testified at the trial of the guy who was on trial for that murder.
Whoa. Ashton Kutcher.
What? I know, right?
What a life.
Also, is he married to Mila Kunis right now?
I don't know.
He is. He's married to Mila Kunis right now.
Oh, okay. So he must wait. And what time did he date and married Demi Moore while he was doing that 70s show, and then he married Mila Kunis?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so he married Demi Moore in 2005 and they got divorced in 2013, which is when he started dating Mila Kunis.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. But I'm asking, when did he start doing that 70s show? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I assume 1 million years ago.
So, like, was it like he divorces Demi and he's like, finally, Mila, we can be together after all these years of filming that 70s show?
Yes, that 70s show was on from 1998 to 2006. So he did date and marry Demi Moore, like, during the run of that 70s show and did not date Mila Kunis until much later.
Oh, that's so interesting. So reigniting an old flame, perhaps.
Yes.
Or someone from his life earlier. Wow, I never thought I would know this much about Ashton Kutcher ever.
Me neither. Also, he apparently is a libertarian, so bummer.
Of course he is. Because of course he is.
Yeah, anyways, and apparently owns guns. I also never thought that I would know this much about him. Well,
Look,
okay.
we apologize, everybody, for you having to know this much, for also carrying this burden of knowing this much about Ashton Kutcher.
Yes, I'm really sorry.
Here we are.
Sorry.
We're all in this boat together.
I'm legitimately very sorry that we spent this time telling you about Ashton Kutcher. Let's keep moving.
Okay. We've got a very special guest on the show today. You all know him very well. It's amateur pro Greg.
Hi,
Welcome,
Meghan and Maria.
Greg.
Hi, Greg. We're so
Yay.
excited to
Hi.
have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I am really excited to be on, even though we can't be together in person. I am thrilled to be back on the podcast.
I mean, you know, after we attempted to record this call 5 different ways, I'm just happy it's happening.
Oh, yeah. This is no one will get to see the ordeal we just went through. But
Yeah.
hopefully they'll get to hear proof that
That
we're
it happened.
recording.
that it
That
finally
it
worked.
happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wanted you to come on the show today because you just played in one of the Players Tour events this past weekend, and you could share your experiences playing in this new tournament, a completely new way to play in this tournament, a completely like a kind of restructuring of this tournament amidst, you know, the world of Temur Reclamation, which was dominant across both of these
Yes.
Players Tours.
It sure was. Well, yeah, I have a lot of things I can tell you about. It was a really unique Magic playing experience. So you may remember that I qualified for the Pro Tour a couple months ago. In fact, only a week or two before kind of the COVID situation really hit, I went to a Minneapolis PTQ playing Pioneer with Mono White, and I won the event, which was
that's
super
right. It's the
surprising.
first time you played
You
that
had-
It was
deck,
the
right?
first
Yeah.
time I ever played Pioneer. Yep, I was on the podcast talking about it. You can go back and listen. And so I was really bummed when they canceled the Pro Tour, or at least canceled the in-person Players Tour. And a little sad that they replaced it with an online event, but I was glad, it wasn't just straight canceled. That would have been a lot worse. And so, yes, 2 days ago, I played in this event. I got permission from my office to go into my office. And so I was sitting alone in my grad student office in an empty academic building by myself, playing in a competitive
ghosts?
Magic tournament.
Yeah, I want to know if there were ghosts.
I think I'm glad, spoiler alert, this tournament did not go great for me. I did not win any matches of Magic. So because of this, I didn't actually have to stay that long. I was only there for about the 4 hours it took for me to lose 4 matches and then leave. I think maybe if I had day two'd this event and spent my entire weekend there, the ghosts would have come out.
You didn't have enough time to get them acclimated.
To support me, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. The ghosts would have. The ghosts of Vincent. They're very bored because no one's been in their building for months. So they probably just were watching, and I didn't notice actually.
No one has talked about how hard this pandemic has been on ghosts that haunt public buildings.
Should we ask Ghost Host?
Ghost Host, that's right.
Ghost
Ghost Host, luckily, can haunt anywhere that Good Luck High Five is being recorded or listened to. So Ghost Host could be haunting you right now if you're listening to this.
That's right, but Ghost Host is a very friendly ghost,
Very
so don't
friendly
worry
ghost.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. But also very concerned for all of the ghosts that, just don't have people around to haunt right now.
Well,
Yeah.
don't worry, ghosts. Hopefully, we'll get some nice, human, warm, fleshy bodies for you to terrorize. Very soon.
Very soon.
And home ghosts are loving it because everyone's stuck
It's
at home.
true.
So
It's
if you're
true.
a ghost haunting a house, if you have a haunted house, your ghost is going crazy.
It's the heyday of home ghosts.
It's like people talk about how happy pets are because their owners are home all the
Yeah.
time. No one stopped to think
No
about
one.
the ghosts.
No one's talking about how happy
It's
the
writing
ghosts
this
are.
article. Anyway, Megan and I both worked coverage for these events.
Yeah.
Players Tour number 2 is the one we were working on. Is that the one you were playing, or were you playing in number
That is
1?
the one I was playing. I think it was
Okay.
the best time zone for kind of people in the North American time zones. It was 9 a.m. Pacific time. So here in Minneapolis, it started at 11, which was a very reasonable time for a tournament to start.
Yeah. You didn't want to get up at midnight to play?
I did not really want to get up at midnight to play, no.
Fair enough.
I mean, look, to be honest, my sleep schedule during quarantine is a nightmare, but it's not that much of a nightmare that I would play in that tournament. But yeah, so I kind of got to do the whole Pro Tour experience, at least leading up to the tournament. So I think you guys know my friend Andrew Ellenbogen. He's been on the show before, former Pro Tour champion. He and I were both qualified, and we spent a lot of time testing together, which was really cool. Because I'm stuck at home without much else to do, I had a lot of time to test, which was cool. And we played a lot of Arena. I played a lot on the ladder, which I don't normally do. But I got a lot of experience playing Standard. It was weird that Standard got shaken up by this ban and by the companion change. We actually had started our first day of testing the day they announced there was gonna be a change. And we'd been testing for about 2 hours. We see the announcement, and we're like, all right, let's chat again in a week when we know what the ban is.
Wow. I mean,
but-
were you a fan of these bans and this rule change?
I like the companion rule change. I mean, it succeeded in its goal, right? Companions were pretty much totally nerfed. They were pretty much nowhere to be seen, even in Standard. I think it would have been nice if there could have been a nerf that kept them playable in Standard, but not
Do you think
in
they're
Modern
not
and
playable
Legacy.
specifically because the change was too severe, like to keep them playable, or because they're being kept with their head held underwater by decks like Temur Reclamation and Jund Sacrifice?
I think that spending 3 mana to do nothing in Standard is just too big of a cost. I think
I see,
since
yeah.
Standard is so powerful, you cannot afford 3 mana to do nothing. I think Yorion is still playable because Yorion is often the last card you cast anyway. And so the difference between Yorion costing 5 and 8 is not much.
Hey, look, control decks spend 3 mana to do nothing all the time.
That's
Wow.
true. That's a great point.
Wow. Wow.
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
Nothing is
Okay.
a really hot name for Teferi.
That's another thing about the companions is if your opponent has Teferi, you can't leave your mana open anyway. So sometimes you just have mana with nothing to do with it. And then you can put your companion in your hand.
Yeah.
I guess.
But another rough thing for me is like a lot of testing was like playing blue mirrors, like Bant Ramp against Temur Recc, or the Temur Recc mirror, or Sultai versus Bant Ramp. And these are just like decks that post board have like a million counter spells, and I am very bad at this type of Magic. I like playing creatures. I like tapping my mana during my own turn. I like not having to think about what my opponent's thinking about, what I'm thinking about, what they're thinking about. Like, it's a few too many levels sometimes.
But if I think that they think what they think is what I think.
And like Andrew is very good at this type of Magic, so like he just like crushed me in testing all the time, which was unfortunate. But you know, it sure did foretell what happened at the Pro Tour. So
All right,
okay.
Greg, tell us about your rounds at the event. Tell us about them.
So we spent most of the week testing a Bant deck, deciding between Bant Yorion or Bant Control. We settled on Bant Control. We basically kind of figured out that there's this rock, paper, scissors thing going on around the top decks. We were beating Temur Recc with Bant Control, though it was close. It was maybe like 55-45 favored. Temur Recc was crushing Jund Sacrifice, and Jund Sacrifice was crushing Bant. And so we kind of had this like nice little rock, paper, scissors, whichever one we played. But then we settled on the fact that, hey, like, Temur Recc crushes Jund, and it's not that bad against Bant. Like, it's pretty even. And so kind of at the last minute, we audibled to playing Temur Reclamation, which I think was smart. I think it was, I mean, clearly it was the best deck of the tournament, as you all saw if you looked at the results. And I played it on the ladder. I went 8-0 on the ladder with Temur Recc, and I was like, great, like, this deck's awesome.
Wow.
We're going to have a great time. And then the tournament did not go so great. I think I ran really cold. I mulliganed to 5 a lot. I posted a tweet on my updates page of this hand I had where it was turn 6 and my hand was just 6 lands, none of which were the cycling land. And I was just like there's nothing I can do about this.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, there's nothing to do about that.
And like, you know, I kept passing with 6 lands and just saying go with 7 lands. And like, yeah, I just had no other
Greg,
plays.
I got to tell you, that's what I'm always hoping is going on in my control opponent's hand. Is like, maybe they just have 7 lands.
Yeah. And usually it doesn't happen, but
Yeah, normal. That is a fantasy world I'm living in there.
yeah. I also think, you know, I'm not someone who plays Magic on Arena or online very often, and so it's a very different medium, and I think I was not practiced well enough, especially in a high-pressure environment. I think I'm just more used to playing Magic in person, and kind of there's something intangible about, like, how you play Magic in person, and I don't know, I think I played a lot worse online. And I think
I understand that 100%. It feels like a video game, right? So you're not putting as much time, like, honestly, because of the rope, but also just, you know, that's a problem I have all the time. I'm getting distracted by things. Is it my cats or my phone or whatever?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen in a normal tournament paper Magic setting, stuff like that.
I've been distracted by my cat so many times in a paper Magic event.
yeah.
Just remembering she exists.
Just like thinking, I'm just like, oh, my cat. Oh, I forgot to play a land this turn. Whoops.
The other thing about an online tournament, it was kind of boring. Like,
Wow.
I was like sitting in my office just by myself, and like, you don't get to meet or chat with your opponents. Like, there's no conversation. You just like click on their name and then you play a game online, and all my games finished quickly because I got crushed. And then I would just like sit in my office by myself for 45 minutes waiting for the next round to happen. And like, normally if you're at a Magic tournament, there's all this stuff going on, and you can watch your friends and you can meet people and you can like walk around and see the artists and like check in with all the people you know and go bug Meghan and Maria at the coverage desk. And,
I was going to say, in Maria's case, there's so many chicken fingers to eat from the concession stand.
Yes. People hate convention center food, but I love it. You get the chicken tenders, you get the fries, you dump even more salt on it than it already has, and you wait for your slow demise. Or fast in this case, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
But
that's totally true, right?
I do want to say, for the record, I mean, I think there's been a lot of talk in the last day on Magic Twitter about like whether or not this counts as like a real Pro Tour. And, you know, I'm saying these things of like, it didn't feel real for me because the things I enjoy about a Pro Tour weren't there. But as far as like competitiveness and the skill that it takes to win, it was absolutely the level of a real tournament. And I mean, clearly, I think
And clearly you're not tooting your own horn when you say that.
Yeah, right. Like it was, you know, and I think, you know, some people have taken to online and saying like, oh, like this result doesn't really count as a Pro Tour. And those people are just wrong and being rude on the internet.
What? Rude on the internet?
I know.
Magic
right?
players?
Yeah, okay, there was
Never.
this Discord. It was so, like, the Discord for the event, people were just, like,
We were there.
chatting in it. Oh, you were in it. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it was... I mean, I wasn't there for long because I dropped
tell
out
us
for
about
4
it.
months, but
Tell us about your experience.
people were just, like, kind of dissing the event and like, chatting, like, with their friends in the public Discord. And, I don't know, it was just, like, kind of, like... I wanted it to like feel a little more like formal and official than it did. It was just kind of like
Yeah.
I did
was
not
just, like,
see that, actually. That's funny.
chattering. Yeah.
Well, you know, hopefully
like,
this won't be the norm much longer.
Treat this
Yeah.
with dignity and respect.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people wanted, it to be treated like a Pro Tour. And in a lot of ways it was, and in a lot of ways it wasn't.
Well,
So-
what about it being treated like a players tour? Because the players
Oh,
tours
sure.
are not really
I-
the pro tour, right?
That's what I mean. Sorry, I've been using the words Pro Tour and Players Tour interchangeably, but I mean Players Tour. I
Yeah.
think that the Players Tour and the Pro Tour... this is honestly my first Players Tour I've played in. I've played in the Pro Tour 3 times. Well, okay, I played on the Pro Tour twice, the Mythic Championship once, and now the Players Tour once, because they've changed the name many times.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, the Players Tour and Pro Tour have a very similar feel to them.
Yes. Yeah,
So-
I think so. It's just a smaller number of people than you would get at a pro tour.
Yeah, I guess the Pro Tours I played in had like 400-ish, and this had like 250-ish, which is a difference. But I mean, it's still really hard to top 8 or win an
Oh,
event.
absolutely.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Lots of big name players in these events. And
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you like, okay, from a lot of people, the takeaway from watching these is Temur Reclamation, right? There was
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 copies across 2 top 8s, and
Yeah.
it took down both of them.
Yeah.
As somebody testing for it, I couldn't help but think that I would just be completely like kind of like devastated. Like, I don't want to play any of these things. And I know some pros just suck it up and they say, play the best deck, who cares? But as far as I know, like me playing that kind of deck, I'm just going to lose. Like, I'm not good at playing Magic like that. And I'm just kind of really sad that there wasn't a super viable alternative. Like, there was Mono Green Stomping, which did okay. Like, Cedric went 10-5 with it or whatever. But like, it didn't top 8. I just...
Yeah. We were expecting, or I was expecting, a mystery deck. And we couldn't find it. You know, we talked about some other decks, and we were expecting some group of pros to put their minds together and figure out a deck that beat Temur Reclamation. Usually when there's a best deck, that's the case. But it just didn't happen. It just, all the pros, either they didn't test as hard because it's an online tournament, or more likely, they tried and failed to find a deck that consistently beats Temur Rec. And it's
Because
not
you
surprising.
can beat Temur Reclamation, right? You just play super aggressively, but you can't beat Jund Sacrifice with the same kind of deck.
Yeah, and like Temur Reclamation has game against the aggressive decks too. Like,
Yeah,
it's not,
it does.
You know, it's
not like a
as
give and
lopsided.
win. Yeah.
And it's not surprising. I mean, before the companion ban, Temur Rec was one of the best decks, and it was the only one that didn't get changed. Or sorry, I shouldn't say companion ban, the companion nerf. And it was the only one that didn't get changed, and so unsurprisingly, it's still at the top of the heap.
Yeah.
So like next weekend. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Megan.
I was just gonna ask like what you played against in your 4 rounds.
I played against the Temur Reclamation Mirror. I played against Jund Sacrifice. I played against Mono Red Aggro. And then in my 4th match, I played against Selesnya Auras. A deck after your own heart, Maria.
Greg, there was only 2 people playing that deck in that tournament.
And Greg lost to one of them in the 0-3 bracket.
In the 0-3 bracket. So it was a close match.
It did not. Did not do good.
But that was
you
was
had
embarrassing.
deck diversity.
Yeah, but like I did in the first 3 rounds play against the 3 top decks, which were Temur Recc, Jund Sac, Mono Red. So that was not surprising.
Yeah, I feel like were there like Bant Ramp? I feel like there was more Bant Ramp than Mono Red, maybe.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think Red was like
Sultai
number
Ramp.
5 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, losing to the Auras deck was kind of shameful.
Oh.
That was when I called it quits. I wasn't actually eliminated. I could have gone 5-0 and made the day 2, but
You just couldn't.
It was time to call it quits.
Your
You're just
respect
like,
was
I'm
just
done.
like, no.
And
Because what you
so-
don't want is to then like win 4 in a row and then lose your last one.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
and
God,
as I
no.
said, I wasn't having that much fun. I mean, it was helping.
Yeah.
It was hurting that I
Yeah.
wasn't winning, but I think I was just kind of bored sitting by myself. And
Yeah.
the things that I normally enjoy about being in a Magic tournament, being with friends, being in a cool place, being able to like drop and go play a fun side event at the Magic Fest, like none of those were options,
Yeah.
which was disappointing.
Well, Greg, you know what? You might have come in dead last in
Yeah.
this Players Tour, but you are first in our hearts. And
Well, thank
you know
you.
what? My
We
mom always
didn't
said
say
never
this
do
yet.
anything halfway, but
Yeah, we didn't say this yet, but I did come in literal last place, which means there were about 10 people who didn't win a match, but I had the worst tiebreakers. Like, I know my second round opponent, who I like is a friend of a friend, I know who they are, and I know that they went 1-5 in the tournament, and I
Yep.
was their only win.
Yep. And then like
And my
you went.
first round opponent I saw was like 2-5 also, and so yeah.
Well, as
But
soon as
honestly,
you
it's kind
you
of an
lost.
honor. Like how many people are there out there that can say that they came in literal last place at a Players Tour?
I
Not
mean,
many.
as few as can say that they won one.
Exactly.
If you think about it, they are an equal honor because there is
Yeah,
only
I
one
agree.
per event.
Yeah.
I agree.
I was gonna say they
Yeah.
they cemented you as dead last as soon as you lost to the Selesnya Auras deck. They're like ship him to the bottom.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm really curious
So-
to find out what happens next weekend. Like if people like go all in on trying to beat Temur Recc, or if everyone just like, nah, join them, man. We're gonna play it. Or if like there's just like no way that doing that's a good game plan because of the existence of Jund Sacrifice, which requires a kind of a different deck to beat it than the straight up aggressive deck, which will be Temur Reclamation.
Yeah.
I am predicting you will see a lot of if you can't beat them, join them next weekend. And I
Gross.
think there's going to be a lot of Temur Reclamation mirrors.
Greg,
You're
why do
making
you tell me
Maria
this?
so sad because when she was like, I wonder what she was saying was I hope. She was like,
Yeah.
I hope, but
I
Well,
hope.
There are a lot of smart Magic players out there who might figure something out. So
Maybe.
you can continue hoping, I think.
I did really enjoy watching. There was like the big mono green deck, the mono green stompy deck that some people
think
were
that
on.
deck's fun,
That did
yeah.
like okay.
Yeah. No, that deck is pretty sweet and pretty niche. I mean,
I was
I would
asking
not have
Reed about it.
expected
Who
those
was
cards to be good.
who was the expert? Reed Duke was the expert when I was on the host desk, and I was like, I have not been winning with this mono green deck. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And he said, you have to mulligan extremely aggressively with it to have a really
okay.
busted opening hand if you can, because that's the way that it wins. And if its opening hand is like kind of medium, it's probably not going to win.
Well, all right.
Reed Duke was rocking a Selesnya shirt on coverage. I was very happy to
was.
see that.
Yeah.
Your Selesnya
guild.
brethren, Greg.
Yeah, I didn't know he was a fellow member of the Conclave. But,
You all can go
Well,
plant some
Greg-
trees together.
yeah, I love.
I'm sorry your tournament didn't go very good.
It's okay if I could you know, I am very happy with my results at my in-person Pro Tours and Mythic Championships I've been to, and if there's one that I had to bomb, I'm glad it was the online one.
Yeah.
And I was really excited to play on the Pro Tour again and get to do this and in a way that, you know, got canceled, and I'm sad about it, but hopefully this won't be my last chance, and hopefully I'll you know, whenever Pro Magic returns in person, whenever Grand Prix and Magic Fests and Players Tours continue, hopefully they will. I will definitely try and make that a part of my life again. And so,
well,
I
as
know
always,
this won't
Greg,
be
you
my
do
last
not have
chance.
a last place attitude.
Yes,
You have a first place attitude.
yeah, you know, a bunch of my friends missed day 2 also, but I got to go home at 3:00 and have a lovely evening chatting with some friends over Zoom and day drinking because, you know, I came in last place, where everyone else was stressed playing Magic
Yeah.
until 9 or 10 p.m. So, you know,
There you go.
in a way, it was better to get out early than have to, like, have the disappointment of being close and then missing it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually true. I don't think I agree with anything I said, but here we are. I did have a fun Saturday, so that's
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's true. Or maybe all of what he just said was a lie, but
Hey, Greg, where can
Yeah.
people find you on the internet if they want to follow your antics?
Yeah, good. So I'm on Twitter at neverbole. That's NEVERBOLE. And I tweet about Magic tournaments and give results and retweet some Good Luck High Five stuff. And so, you know, if you don't want to follow them but follow me, then you're silly. You should follow them and follow me. But you should follow me.
Oh,
you heard
thank
it.
for
If you
being
don't
on
want
the
to follow
show.
Good Luck High
Yeah.
Five, go follow Greg.
And I think as we're winding down, I just wanted to maybe mention on air. So I know I've talked with you about this, but I am graduating grad school in a couple months. And after that, I am very sadly moving out of Minneapolis.
You say sadly, but I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, I got a really exciting job in New York City that gets to use my degree in a way I'm really excited about. And
New
so,
York City.
Yeah, so I'm going to be moving to the big city, and so it might mean that this is one of my last appearances on Good Luck High Five, at least for the foreseeable future. I'll be back in Minneapolis to visit, so, you know, maybe you can have me on again. But I just wanted to say to both of you, especially, thank you so much for all the times I've been able to be on the podcast. It's been such a fun part to be a part of this family, and all the times I streamed with you guys, and it's just like, it's been super fun. And for all the audience people who have listened to me, thank you so much and followed me on Twitter or said hi at Magic Fests and things like that. I really appreciate you all. And as I said, I'll still be going to Magic Fest once they start up again. So, you know, don't be a stranger, even if I'm not appearing on the podcast quite as much because I moved away. So yeah, this is, I literally wouldn't trade my Good Luck High Five experience for the world. It's been so fun.
Oh,
So, thank you.
Thank you
Greg,
so much,
we
Greg.
will never have another amateur pro. Never.
Aw, thank you.
No, you are
You're
you are
it.
our amateur
You're
pro.
the amateur
That-
pro. What are you going to be doing?
So I accepted a job at the National Museum of Mathematics.
What?
New
I'm
York
so
City.
jealous. That's
I don't know
really
if
cool.
Yeah, so if you think like a kids science museum, it's kind of like that, except it's math focused instead of science focused. And I am going to be, so I'm getting my degree in mathematics, and I'll be one of the senior mathematicians on staff, helping
Greg,
with
I just
teaching
learned all
and
about
developing content and things like that. And so,
I've
yeah.
just learned all about Fermat's last theorem, Greg. So
Really?
I'm really excited about math, even though, you know, I'm like notoriously very bad at it. But I had a great time learning
Yeah.
about that and other areas of math that, you know, kids don't a lot of times get taught in school, you know?
yeah, absolutely. And that's what my job will be all about. Is it's mostly like kids and families come and we talk to them about really fun and interesting math that they
my
don't get
gosh,
exposed to
that's so cool.
in their classroom.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm really excited about it. If you are in New York and you know of some good Magic stores or Commander nights or draft nights, hit me up on Twitter and let me know. I'll definitely be looking for things like that. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you,
And I'll,
Greg.
you know, I'll miss seeing you guys at tournaments, but I guess when we travel, we'll still see each other.
Yeah.
We will.
That's a nice part of the Magic family is even though I'm moving away, I'll still get to see most of my Magic friends. So.
Here, let's do a 3-way high five right now.
All right.
Okay. Ow, that was hard, you guys.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I was
well,
very
I hit you
enthusiastic about it. I was kind of aggressive.
Cube on Arena with Draft.
I have to say, as soon as it came online, I dropped every other type of Magic I was playing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
only started playing Cube because I love Cube Draft.
It's so fun. I'm so excited that it's finally come to Arena. We had Cube sealed on Arena a little bit earlier. Was it this year already? Yeah. Was it? Yes.
Yes, it was.
Who knows?
It was 10 years ago,
a
but
mystery.
also earlier this year.
Earlier this year, though, to be fair, was 10 years ago. So
Yeah, exactly. I've already
yeah.
drafted Cube 3. I'm on my third one.
ooh,
And I'm currently really, really kicking some butt with
Awesome.
my third deck. My first one also really tore it up.
So in the show notes, we're going to put a link to all of the cards that are in Cube, so you can check it out. And if you
Yes.
haven't had a chance to play yet, you can look through just at least what cards are in there, because the idea behind Cube is it is super, super powerful cards. And Arena's got a lot of those, despite the fact that it's only been around for a little bit. They've added some more powerful cards into Arena that haven't been released in recent standard sets just for
That's
Cube.
right.
And you can basically draft whatever kind of strategy you want generally in cubes. There are a few
Yeah.
that are like, oh, there's usually a mono red deck, there's usually a white weenie deck, that kind of thing. But you can, like, there's usually really good mana fixing, so you can kind of just go nuts.
Right now I'm playing a Golgari deck.
Okay.
With Gitrog Monster is one of my favorite parts of it. Like what a big frog.
He is the
Mending
frog
of
boy.
Dominaria, which is like a great pairing because you can play extra lands with Gitrog, and then like you sacrifice lands for Gitrog, but then Mending of Dominaria gets all the lands back from your graveyard in its final
Great,
chapter.
great.
It's just some solid stuff. Eldest Reborn is in this cube, and I've drafted it
Yes.
every time it has come across my draft screen because that card is so good.
Oh, it's excellent.
Still is excellent. Has always been excellent.
Dominaria.
Drafted. Yes.
Dude, do you remember what your other two decks were? So you played green, black, Gitrog.
Yes. So my first deck was like a top end heavy blue black deck.
Of course.
Yeah, like obviously, like of course
Obviously.
it was. I'm trying to think of what were some of the best cards that I had on the top end. I had like, gosh, I'm trying to think.
Dream Eater.
I did have Dream Eater.
I
That
knew
is
it.
correct.
I knew
I had
it.
Dream Eater. I had Thassa's Intervention. I want to say I had the 6-mana Eugene in that deck.
Oh, I love that, Eugene.
Yeah, exactly. It is super important. That deck did really well because I had Golden Demise. Like, you need to have a lot of early removal and interaction if you're playing control.
Yeah, there's a lot of
because
good
there
cards that are
aggro decks.
Yeah, there are aggro decks, and there are lots of cards that are extremely good but are cheap.
Yeah, exactly. So make sure that you have a plan, lots of removal. And if you're aggro, watch out because I like definitely ruined some people's game plans by just being like, well, this card is an easy 4-for-1.
Yeah, there is a lot of excellent like board sweepers and cards of similar effects like that running around the cube. Like I saw Realm Cloak Giant is in there. Shatter the
Oh,
Sky
yes.
is in there. You name it, it's
Yep.
probably in there.
Settle the Wreckage is in there.
Settle the Wreckage, my most hated one of all
yes.
time.
Ritual of Soot.
Yeah.
So there is a whole lot. One of the best blue cards that you can possibly draft is Disdainful Stroke also.
Oh,
because
yeah.
there are a lot of very high-powered, expensive spells. If you can counter them for 2 mana, you're going to really be living your best life out there.
Okay, so we've got blue, black, high top end. We've got green, black, Gitrog. What was your third deck?
I think my third deck was basically like a blue-white with a lot of mass removal.
Wow, just become the monster.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I really like at that one. I did have Settle the Wreckage. I had the Realm Cloak Giant. I think I even had I had a Time Wipe.
Great.
That one was a lot. That was a lot of sweepers, and it was a really good time.
I've only had the chance to draft this once, but the deck that I built was, I'm going to call it Captain Sisay Legendaries.
Yeah.
Which is a great card that they put into Cube, which is, she costs 4 mana, and you can just tap her. She's a 2/2, and you can go get a legendary card from your deck and put it into your hand. So
Wow. And there are from Dominaria, like a lot of those legendary sorceries.
Yeah.
Like I was playing a deck that had Karn's Temporal Mastery.
Great.
And Yawgmoth's Vile Offering.
Mm-hmm.
And Urza's Ruinous Blast.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
And it was really excellent.
You know, I mean, just the power level of the cards themselves coming around, like what was in my deck, like stupid stuff, like Carnage Tyrant, like Zatalpa, Primal Dawn, like unbeatable cards like that.
Yes.
I say unbeatable though. I will say that there is stuff like Icy Manipulator in the deck, which can deal with Zatalpa or whatever in the deck in the cube.
Yep.
And
it's worth it to splash. Like in this green black deck, I'm splashing Ariel Knight of Windgrace.
oh, sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Conclave Tribunal, like especially removal, because it is so easy. Just like pick up those lands.
Yes.
Skits is in the set.
Oh, Skits, we love you, Skittering Surveyor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I
that's
forgot. Yeah, Skits.
it's a good point though to tell people to draft lands and stuff because you've got to prioritize them. You really do if you're going to want to run anything more than 2 colors. And when every time you pick a land, you are ensuring that more of your draft picks end up in your final deck, thus making it more powerful than a lot of other people. Even though cube quality, card quality is pretty high, so you will end up putting most of your picks in your deck unlike a normal draft. I still think it's really important.
I take it above anything. Like I'll take a land above like a middle of the pack pick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a medium pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
My first deck also had Patient Rebuilding, which I feel like maybe a lot of people just didn't play with back when it came out, and that was in
I don't
core set
remember it.
19. So 3 blue for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent puts the top 3 cards of their library into your graveyard. Then you draw a card for each land card put into that graveyard this way.
Okay.
And like you just draw so many cards.
Oh, that's right.
And so many people were like, this is going to be fine. And it's like, it's not going to be fine.
No, it was so good. I remember I played that at that pre-release.
Yes. And the card is busted.
And it was super busted. I was like,
It's
I'm putting
really
this in here for just
absurdly
fun.
good.
But it was like, it was so good. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Patient
So I would
rebuilding.
say, yeah, like one important takeaway from Cube is that like if a card isn't like busted levels good, then you better be hyper aggro.
Yeah, I agree with you. You don't want to be
Like
playing
it's one or the other. Yeah.
middling stuff. Like sometimes in Cube, I'll be the first to admit I have drafted a green-white fair deck. It usually does not win.
Exactly. Like fair middle of the road stuff, not where you want to be. You need to be like surviving until you hit a really busted top end or trying to get them dead in like 4 turns.
Yeah, I agree. But I've been having an absolute blast. Even just in that one draft I did, I was so excited to play it. I put my deck together. I'm like, this is awesome. I hope it can actually work. And I've got 2 wins so far to my name, and I'm just like, let's go. I mean, like right now, I'm like, you know, let's get the podcast over so we can play.
I know, like I'm thinking about like, oh, that green black deck right now. I'm currently sitting at 4-0, I think, with it, and I just can it go the whole way? My first one I think went 7-2. My second one I went like something like 4-3 or 5-3 or something like that. So, and again, it's just like, yeah, as long as you're trying to do busted things, that's one thing I've certainly noticed. I think that because a lot of players have gotten into Arena as kind of one of their first ways into Magic, which is obviously super great. Like, we want more people playing Magic. We love people playing Magic. But they don't have Cube experience, and so they're tending to pick cards that they're just like, maybe they've seen it in Standard or they remember like a deck that it's been in recently, but because they're not familiar, like if you go into this knowing that you need to like prioritize removal and lands and busted stuff, I think you're going to be able to be pretty successful, at least right now, while there's still a bit of a learning curve out there.
Yeah, that's a great point. And if you find yourself feeling a little overwhelmed with it, there's plenty of videos from people drafting this cube already, and I'm sure it will come back in short order on Arena. It's not just a one and done kind of thing. People love these sorts of things, and you can get some tips from them. But I think that is a great starting point for people, what you said there, Megan. And once you kind of like get over the like tiny little learning hump, you're going to be like, this is the sweetest thing ever.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
It's so good. Well, everybody, that's this week's episode of Good Luck High Five. Thank you so much to Amateur Pro Greg for hanging out with us, and all of you for hanging out with us every single week. We couldn't do it without you, because otherwise we'd just be talking to each other, and that's the worst.
Wow. I need to go sit with that for a second, I guess. I know what I'm going to be thinking about the rest of today.
Well,
No,
you know what?
seriously. I'm going to be thinking about how appreciative I am of our patrons, which
yeah.
I always think about very honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it always boggles my mind that people are supporting the show, and we so appreciate it, and we're so glad that it brings you something and that you are willing to contribute to us being able to bring you the show.
Yeah, if you want, you can become a patron over on patreon.com/GLHF And we mentioned it at the top of the show, you know, you don't have to become a patron, right? If you can, it's completely free, and it always will be. But there's a bunch of people who are like, hey, I believe in this, and I have the extra money to be able to support the show, and so I do. So thank you to all those people who have chosen to become the supporters of the show. It really means a lot to us, and you're doing great work, too, for people who are like, I wish I could, but I can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure. And, you know, thank you also to our sponsor, Card Kingdom, a really lovely, wonderful set of people. And, you know, we'll catch you on the flip side of a pancake. I'm going to go eat a pancake.
I was just thinking about flip sides, the crackers. Do you ever eat those?
Oh, I don't really like those. Because aren't they pretzel on one side?
Yes. They're like, I can't stop eating them if I start.
No. That's not my thing.
All right, everyone, the podcast is over. Who knew this would be the straw? Flipside crackers.
Flipside crackers.
Call us if you want to be a sponsor. Flipside.